One of the most amazing things about tonight is that no matter how it turned out, Arkansas was going to make history tonight. I know it will be the honor of a lifetime to serve as Arkansas's 47th governor and the first female governor the state of Arkansas has ever.
Wow, that was newly elected Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders during her victory speech last night. She defeated Democrat Chris Jones and will make history as the state's first female governor, making her father proud as well. Friend of this program. Joining me right now is the current governor of Arkansas, former U.S. Attorney and former Homeland Security Undersecretary Asa Hutchinson. Governor, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Maria, and thanks for sharing that exciting story on Sarah last night.
It was an amazing story. Give us your reaction to this win and the gubernatorial races across the country. Let's start with Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Well, first of all, there's three firsts in her election. One, it's the first father-daughter combination. Secondly, it's the first female. And it's the first time a Republican has succeeded a Republican in Arkansas. So red is still strong here in this state, and I'm delighted with her victory. I love what she's going to focus on in terms of education, and she has set a good tone last night, so I congratulate her. In terms of all the races across the country, still some to be determined. I'm still looking at Oregon. That's a close race that nobody thought 2 months ago would be close, and we have a chance of winning there. Whenever you look at Nevada, obviously the economy reflected in the sheriff of Clark County, Joe Lombardo, looks like he can win that. And so these are exciting races that we didn't know that we were going to win. But every state is really turning out to be different. It wasn't a wave election. It doesn't look at this point. It really reflects the diversity of our country, the division of our country. Candidates make a difference, and you see that reflected in the different states and the closeness of the elections.
Governor, one of the clear messages from this election seems to be that governors matter. In states with strong governors, it worked down the ballot for national offices. What do Republicans have to take away from this election if they want to put their senatorial candidates, their other national candidates, in a position for success?
A great question, and Senate candidates rarely do well if the governor's candidate is not leading the ticket well. Governors, how they perform, make a big difference. We've proven that in our record, and so I think people are looking at governors more and more as people that can help turn this country around. What you're going to see with a divided government in Washington, one, there will be a check on Joe Biden and his presidency. If anything's going to be done, there's got to be working together to get it done. It has to be done in a bipartisan way. But there's going to be a lot of posturing in Washington, and the real results many times are going to come from the states.
Yeah, I mean, the governors have to hold the line on this climate change agenda as well. And you're seeing the governors hold the line in Texas with the border and the out of control issues there. A similar situation in other gubernatorial races. But let me get your take on the Customs and Border Patrol reporting that one of the biggest fentanyl and narcotics busts happened at the port entry in Nogales, Arizona. Nearly 800,000 fentanyl pills, 288 pounds of meth, and 55 pounds of heroin, all smuggled in an 18-wheeler tractor trailer. 200,000 fentanyl pills and 7 pounds of fentanyl powder found there just on Sunday, Governor. What's your take on the open border and whether or not this resonated with voters last night?
Well, I believe it did. I think people are convinced this border security is a real issue. We've got to address it whether you're a border state or not. It impacts all of us, particularly the fentanyl. I appreciate you covering this story in terms of it being at a port of entry. A lot of our focus has been what happens between the ports on the open border, and the fentanyl and the drugs are being smuggled to the largest extent through the ports of entry. This is a success story of CBP and the customs officers that did a great job in catching this. You think about how many lives have been saved just simply through this interdiction of these fentanyl pills. Another point is that the cartels are responsible for this. We've got to work with Mexico. We've got to go after the cartels to a greater extent.
Well, the cartels are making a bundle, that's for sure. Governor, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Good to be with you, Maria.
Asa Hutchinson joining us, and we'll be right back.